Good morning, students. Welcome back to the YouTube channel of Venus Public School. Yesterday we have discussed till the step of application of manures and fertilizers. Today we will be continuing our discussion with the next step, which is irrigation. Okay. So what is the meaning of irrigation? It means the supply of water to the crops in the field at specific intervals according to the requirement of the cultivated crop. Clear? So this is what irrigation is. So like that means we need to provide water time to time, like whenever like as we need energy for our growth, so we used to have food time to time. It is not that we just eat food once and for the lifetime or for a week or for a month we will be through. Okay, it is not like this. Similarly, for waters, for plants also, for crops also, we need to provide the required amount of water, nutrients, etc. On time to time with a regular interval of time. Okay, so nutrients, about nutrients we have discussed in the second step. That means application of manures and fertilizers are the way to provide required nutrients to the plants, but along with the nutritions, plant also required water. Clear? Because in the process of photosynthesis they use water, minerals, sunlight and carbon dioxide to make their own food. Okay, with the in the with the process of photosynthesis. Clear? So water is the most essential part for growing of plants. Clear? So fields are irrigated. Now we need to know what are the forms, what are the resources which would be used for the purpose of irrigation. Clear? Irrigation purposes. Clear? So this question I have also given you in the holiday homework, that you need to mark different techniques or different resources, irrigation resources. Clear? Irrigation techniques. Clear? So fields can be irrigated with the help of ponds, lakes, canals, wells, tube wells, rivers, dams, etc. And the water supplied to the field by different methods depending upon the region to which we are irrigating or the availability of the resources. Clear? There are few places in India where there is a scarcity of water all the time, like desert areas or central India maybe. So so there the different methods would be used for irrigating the fields. Okay, so there are few traditional methods, like traditional methods which we have been using for a long time, or the people which who are not very rich or very like poor farmers, they used to use these traditional methods so till now. That is the use of moat, rehat, dekli. Actually they use all these traditional methods till now in many places in India. They are still using it. Okay, but as the technology has developed, evolved, so they have switched over to the different other things or other methods, so which also helps them to save their water. Okay, while they are irrigating the fields. Clear? So it can also overcome the problem of water scarcity at a certain at a like certain level. Clear? So the new methods, the latest methods which people used to follow are sprinklers, sprinkler system and drip irrigation system. Okay, so both the methods are used where there is less amount of water, availability of water is there. Okay, so in sprinkler system, what is a sprinkler system? In this method, water flown from the revolving nozzle and it is sprinkled over the crops. Clear? And this system is used where the land is sandy or there is uneven surfaces. Okay, because the water cannot flow over the hills or it cannot rise up to the hill. Okay, so what they used to do, they used to use sprinklers. Through sprinklers water is sprinkled at the different levels or uneven surfaces also. Clear? So this is very useful for sandy and uneven lands. Clear? Because in sand also water cannot like move through. Okay, it pass down. Basically it will not move forward, it will pass down, it will move downwards. Okay, and the second method is a drip irrigation system. This is the system where is less, where where less amount of rainfall is there and where there is water scarcity. Okay, basically in this system water is dropped to fall drop by drop from a pipe near to the roots of the plant. Okay, so the drip system minimizes the wastage of water. Okay, as well as so it is used where at the places where there is water scarcity. Okay, though it is a both the methods are quite expensive. Okay, and they need lot of resources and they need lot of maintenance also, but still they are commonly used nowadays because yes, we know that there is water scarcity and the rainfall, the amount of rainfall decreases uh, as compared to the previous time. Clear? So both the methods are quite efficient in conservation of water as well as help the water to uh, the field help the fields to get irrigated. Clear? So this is what irrigation is. Next method is weeding and removal of weeds. So what are weeds? Weeds are basically unwanted and uncultivated plants which used to grow with the main crops. Okay, and the problem is these as they are unwanted and uncultivated and they grown up, so they are using or sharing the resources which has been provided for the crops only. Clear? So they are using the share of crops, main crops. Clear? So they are basically unwanted and uncultivated. They are sharing the water, the nutrient, the sunlight, etc. Everything they are sharing with the main crops. Clear? So they are undesirable, highly undesirable. Okay, so we need to remove them time to time. Clear? So the process of removal of weeds is called weeding. So what is weeding? The process of removal of weeds from the fields is called weeding. Okay, and how it can be done? It can be done manually. Okay, or by using a tool called towel or harrow. Clear? Manually we can pick them up with our hands and throw them out. Clear? One method. Another method, we can use two small tools which you can see over here, towel and harrow. Okay, towel is you can pick them up with their roots. Okay, without damaging the main crop plants. And harrow is kind of tool you can see over here which is having teeth over here, so you can just drag it over the field and in these teeth these weeds get entangled and you can take them and remove from the soil. Clear? So some of the common weed and there is one more method through which we can remove the weed. Okay, that is weedicide. Use of weedicide. Weedicide are the chemicals which are specially developed for the weeds, to remove the weeds. Okay, when we spray these weedicides, these chemicals, these uh, chemicals over the field, what will happen? It will harm only the weeds, not the main crop. Clear? So they are done in the laboratory. The research they have developed. We have developed these weedicides after a lot of research, so that it will not harm the main crops but only weeds. Okay, and some of the common weedicides which we are using are Dalapon, okay, Metachlor and Cinizine. Clear? Cinizine. Now the next step is protection against pests and diseases. Pests are basically the insects and microorganisms, okay, which used to eat the crops, main crops. And diseases, yes, as plants are also living organisms, so they also uh, like they also get diseases. Clear? So pests, as we have discussed, are basically the organisms which attacks and damages the crops. Clear? uh, they may be rodents, they may be insects. Clear? So to control them we need to use pesticides. So pesticides again are the chemicals which can be poisonous chemicals which can be sprayed over the fields, and these chemicals would not harm the main crops, but they would kill the insects and rodents from the crops. Clear? Some of the common pesticides which we people are using nowadays are malathion, gamaxin and dicystone. Clear? So these are the common pesticides which we used to. Okay, Again, we have discussed there are 2 points: pest and diseases. So pest we have discussed. Pests are basically microorganisms or insects or rodents, clear, which used to damage the crops. And diseases can be caused due to the fungal infection, bacterial infection, and viruses. They used to the crops used to get diseases. Okay, so these diseases are transmitted through seeds, air, soil. Okay, and through insects. There are many methods of, like in humans there could be many methods. Similarly, there could be many methods of this transmission of these diseases in the crops. So basically some of the common diseases which are commonly seen in the crops are rust and smut, fungal disease in wheat crop, blight of potatoes, and wilt, which is a bacterial disease for the crops. Okay, so these are the commonly seen diseases. Now after that, we need to see we need to see how we can like avoid these diseases. Clear? How we can avoid the diseases. Clear? So to avoid these diseases, we have to spray chemicals which gives protection to the crops against these diseases. These diseases can cause serious damage. Okay, so but excess of use of these chemicals or the medicines which we used to spray on the crops to prevent for the prevention of diseases would also cause harm to the soil, water, etc. Crops also, when it get washed with the rain or while you irrigate the plants, what will happen? These chemicals get washed from the leaves of the crops and get mixed with the soil and the nearby water bodies, and then when it get mixed with the soil, it would be absorbed by the plants, and then the fruits which a plant grows, okay, would also have some amount of these chemicals in it, and which causes after consumption of such kind of crop products, various digestive and skin disorders might occur. Clear? So this the excess of spraying of chemicals would be avoided. Clear? Now, harvesting, threshing, and winnowing, which includes the cutting of the crops. Clear? So this in this step we need to there are three sub steps. Number one is harvesting, number two is threshing, and number four is winnowing. We need to understand the difference between three, and thus we will be able to understand them. So first of all, let us talk about harvesting. Harvesting is basically cutting the mature crop from the field. Clear? Suppose, as you can see in this picture, this is wheat crop. In this picture we can see this is wheat crop, and the farmers are cutting them from the roots. Clear? So what they are doing is they are harvesting the crop. Okay, and while they are harvesting, they are using this sickle. Okay, in the previous time, in the older times, and still in few villages, in few backward areas, skills are used to use for cutting or harvesting the crops. Clear? And nowadays this harvesters, these are big tractors, big instruments attached with the tractors, big tractors, harvesters. These are the machines which also cut the fields automatically, cut the crops automatically, and perform the threshing. Now second one is so cut the crops from the fields. So harvesters and sickles, harvester and manual method, that is from the with the help of sickle, and mechanical method, that is tractor harvester, can be used for harvesting the crops from the field. Now second is threshing. Threshing is basically threshing is the method through which we are separating the crop plant from its crops. Clear? Crop plant, we are separating the crops, the mature crops, the mature crops from its crop plants. Clear? So how we can do it? Again, we can do it with the help of by two methods. Number one, threshing is done manually. Like as you can see in this picture, this farmer is hitting a bunch of crop which we just harvested from the field through sickle. We hold the crop from the bottom end and just hit it on a hard surface, due to which what is happening, these crops, these cereals, these wheat or maybe something else would come out of the plants, and in the hands of the farmer, what is left? The bare plant is left, bare crop plant is left, which is not having any kind of crop seeds or products, final products. Clear? So this can be done manually. As you can see in this picture, all the farmers are hitting these bunches, stack of these crop plants on the flat hard surface. Okay, and thus they are like separating this crop from its crop plants. Clear? Harvested crop plants. And the other method is, there is a machine called combine. In this combine, there are two things fixed. Number one, the front portion, it is harvester, which cuts the crop plants and feed this crop plant to the thresher, which is fixed at the back side of the machine, where the thresher cuts the crop plants into small pieces and then filter the cutted crop plants with uh, the required crops. Okay, crop seeds. Clear? This is how it works. Combine. That's why we call it combine. Okay. Now, third method is winnowing. Winnowing is what? As in both the methods, what is happening in both the methods? Either the threshing is done manually or with the help of combine. It might happen small pieces of cutted crop plants. Clear? Combines get mixed with the crop seeds, main crop seeds. Clear? So main food grains. Clear? So for separating those small pieces of crop plants from the food grains, it's called winnowing. Okay, and the small pieces of these crop plants which during the process of manual threshing or automatic threshing get mixed with the main food grains is called calf, or in Hindi it would be called as, it is called as bhusa. Okay, so this calf can be separated with the help of winnowing from the main food grains. Clear? So in this process, what we used to do, we used to like drop the mixture of calf and food grains from a certain height, and we used to blow air, either if we are doing it when the air is blowing automatically like by itself, or we can do it by using a table fan or something. So what is happening, the heavy food grains drop just straight down, and the lighter calf would like move due to this particular air which is blowing, we are blowing on this way, and make a separate heap of that calf at a separate place. So this is how we can do it. Now last part is storage. Storage is very important part, because after following this all these long steps, if you got a very good yield of crop, but if you are not storing them at a proper place, if we are not taking care of it, it contains moisture, and like when we harvest the crop, sometimes it contains some amount of moisture in it. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to remove the excess amount of moisture from the food grains. Okay, and how we can do it? We can do it before storing, before filling it into the bags or packages. We need to dry them in the air. Okay, oh sorry, we need to dry them in the sun. In the sun, all the moisture which is present in the food grains or would be removed, would be evaporated, and thus there is less chance of development of fungi, bacteria, because fungi, bacteria, viruses, okay, these microorganisms needs moisture to grow. Okay, so the one method to avoid this development of these or spoilage of these food grains, first of all we need to dry in the air. Okay, clear? So one method is this, and second method is, we after drying we need to keep it safe from rats, clear, worms, insects, etc. Okay, so it should be protected, the stored food grains should be protected from rats, worms, insects, etc. As you can see over here, jute bags are there. So in jute bags it is kept here in a storage in a storage house, clear, where jute bags are being used. Jute bags also are used because jute used to absorb the very less amount of, if some moisture is left behind, it is absorbed by the jute bags, okay, from the soil. And silos are also made in like modern time. These kind of silos has been made. These are airtight containers where we can put the grains after drying in the soil, and we can also mix some like chemicals or some like rat killing um, medicines, rodents. Okay, so we can periodically spread some chemicals on the food grains to ensure that damage would not be caused by the rodents, worms, insects, microbes, etc. So nowadays we also used to circulate nitrogen through the food grains in the silos, which replaces the oxygen. As a result, all the pests and microbes get killed in the food grains. Clear? Because all the microorganisms needs oxygen to survive. So while we are like spraying or passing circulated nitrogen gas through the silos where the environment is airtight, there is no way to like there is no ways that the wind or the oxygen can come in. So after like this spraying the hydrogen or passing the hydrogen gas through the crop fields, it would be air tightly packed. Okay, and it would avoid the would avoid any kind of spoilage through microorganisms. Clear? Okay, so now last topic, crop yielding, hybridization, nitrogen cycle, and food from animals is left. Tomorrow we will finish it.